In just hours, former President Donald Trump will become the first president in history to face 2 impeachment trials. Democrats say he incited the attack against the Capitol on January 6th, a charge Mr. Trump denies.
This wasn't about his First Amendment right. He's more than exercised that over the years. This was about him literally inciting a riot.
You're about to set in motion an historical precedent that will put at risk every future president. We're doing a lot of damage to the country because people hate Trump.
On Monday, Senate leaders announcing a rapid timeline for the trial. It starts at 1 p.m. today with up to 4 hours of debate and a vote on whether the proceedings are constitutional. On noon Wednesday, oral arguments get underway. Both sides have up to 16 hours to make their case. Each side will have equal time for senators' questions and closing arguments. House Democrats have not yet decided whether to call witnesses. If they do, the Senate would vote on that first.
All parties have agreed to a structure that will ensure a fair and honest Senate impeachment trial.
It will give senators as jurors ample time to review the case and the arguments.
In a 78-page memo, Mr. Trump's lawyers dismissing the case as political theater, arguing the trial violates the Constitution and should not proceed, calling it patently ridiculous to try to remove Mr. Trump from an office that he no longer holds. Democrats insist the trial is constitutional, writing, "There is no January exception to the Constitution that allows presidents to abuse power in their final days without accountability." Democrats say Mr. Trump incited the insurrection with his speech before the riots began.
We fight like hell, and if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
The former president's lawyers say he was speaking figuratively, arguing the assault on the Capitol was pre-planned by a small group of criminals and that the president never asked anyone to break the law, citing this comment from the same speech.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
And Democrats are responding to that part of the former president's legal team's argument, saying he has no valid excuse or defense for his actions, adding, quote, President Trump violated his oath of office and betrayed the American people. Now, there is one scheduling note this morning. One of Mr. Trump's lawyers, David Schoen, withdrew his request to not hold any proceedings on Saturday in observance of the Jewish Sabbath, which adds to the idea that this trial could be far shorter than Mr. Trump's first trial, which lasted for 21 days. Savannah.
And how about the White House, the Biden White House? How are they reacting to this trial?
A little bit of counter-programming going on, Savannah. President Biden is aiming to stress that for him it's business as usual and that the trial won't impact his agenda. That's his goal, at least. He will aim to try to put the focus on his push for that COVID relief package so that his efforts to get that passed don't lose momentum. But some of Mr. Biden's Democratic allies on Capitol Hill have privately expressed concerns about the impact that the trial could have on the president's priorities. So they're also emphasizing the need to have this trial wrapped up quickly. And as Republicans, of course, are grappling with their own party divisions in the post-Trump era, they, too, are looking to turn the page. Savannah.
All right, Kristen, thank you. NBC News will bring live coverage of the trial. Starts later today at 1 o'clock Eastern Time.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Find your favorite recipes, celebrity interviews, uplifting stories, shop our favorite deals, and so much more with the Today app. Download it now.